All right, Shas. We need to talk about Montka. So, if you've been looking at everything that's been happening with the official release of our codex, the app being updated, you would have noticed that there was an errata point for Montka, which means now they have cleaned up some of the ambiguous wording and they've given a little bit of a change to how the rule works. Previously, you would have lethal hits across the army for turns 1, 2, and 3, and because of some very poor wording, you would have assault for any guided units for the entirety of the game. Now, that's gone, and what's replaced it is that for turns 1, 2, and 3, your army has assault. Now, notice that it says not assault on their weapons, but the assault ability. This will come up later in terms of some of our fortifications. But then you also get lethal hits when a unit is guided. And I've seen a fair amount of negativity around this flowing around on the internet. And for anybody who's sitting there being like, Montka got nerfed. No, Montka, in my opinion, got buffed. Because, you like going fast?
Now, is there anyone out there who wants to go fast? Anybody?
I want to go fast. I'm going to share a little piece of personal information with you. I got a chubby right now because this is one of the most awesome experiences of my life.
Because I do. I really do. There is nothing that I love more than playing a game where speed wins games and having all of the speed. And this is something that when you start to actually extrapolate it from a list building perspective all the way up to how you play your games, everything having assault means that there were certain units that weren't able to actually function within Montka as well as we might like because they didn't have the capacity to equip anything that had assault before. And this was another poor point of wording where GW had made it so that in order to get assault, you had to be eligible to be guided. The only way to do that was to have assault on your gun so that you could advance and still be guided. It created a loop that didn't really make sense, and it locked out things like broadsides, riptides, storm surges, and the list goes on. It meant that our hammerheads, our skyrays, our devilfish all had to opt into the pulse carbines rather than being able to use the wide array of weapons that they actually can take. Skyrays, for good point defense, taking 2 accelerated burst cannons is actually a decent amount of output at strength 6, AP 1, damage 1. Now, it's really, really fortunate for us that GW, didn't nerf the riptides and the broadsides to the point where we may not want to take them. Not at all. Absolutely not. So glad that they didn't absolutely do that. Anyway, looking at having a lot of speed in your list at the first 3 turns of the game, which are arguably the most pivotal for how the game is going to play out later on. Being able to get places you need to go and do so still being able to shoot is not only relevant for getting damage down, but it's also relevant for being able to get places to do deploy teleport homer, investigate signals, any of these additional actions which require you to be eligible to shoot. Not only that, you can now have a devilfish that doesn't have the twin pulse carbines that is able to advance, get its breaches out, and then still be eligible to throw all of its weapons. You're not having to give up the Seeker missiles on the turn that you bring those breaches forward to bomb something. And it's also eligible to guide for those breaches, meaning that that package becomes a lot more self-sufficient without having anything else make that combination work. On top of that, our Storm Surge has been suffering for the army rule where we get penalized for splitting fire. Now, while this doesn't fix that issue, it does mean that it having assault on all of its guns is really good to get a large unwieldy body, or 2 of them, into the places that it needs to go, to be able to use the new towering rule to touch a piece of terrain and then be able to see past it as if it doesn't exist. As I mentioned earlier, the fortifications suffered, especially the tide wall, suffered from a problem of not having assault, which meant that the firing deck within it didn't really synergize with the Montka detachment ability, where you couldn't auto-advance them and still pick the weapons inside to be able to use the firing deck ability. But now this has changed because the platform has assault. It is eligible to shoot, which means it can pick the weapons inside, so you can load a tide wall with 10 to 20 breaches and potentially have 20 to 40 shots coming out of it. Now, all the same restrictions still apply with transports. You can't use Card Fire Blade ability. You can't, use the data sheet ability for the breaches and whatever else. You just use what is on the gun. But it means that we've at least got a little bit of extra usability for one of our underused and, let's be honest, underloved units. But I am keen to put them on the table and just see exactly why I hate them or why I would just rather have devilfish. But at least we can cook with these things and have a different style and potentially just take it to be an idiot and flex on people at a tournament. Now, is the change overall a strict buff? Well, no. I mean, army-wide lethal hits is very, very good, no matter which way you slice it. But I think that anybody who's really got their finger on the pulse of what's going to be happening with the codex, what's fair, what's balanced, everything else, I don't think we were going to keep army-wide lethal hits. I think that's probably a bit much. But having lethal hits on the stuff that you want to have it on anyway, just by guiding them with stealth suits or breaches or star scythes or sky rays or whatever else, getting lethal hits on your volume of shooting means that Montka still does the exact thing that we need it to do. And that is hit hard, hit fast, and be everywhere you need to go. Now, the other thing that I wanted to bring up is that I am finding that my piranhas are actually coming back into a lot of my lists because 9-inch scout move, 14-inch move, spend a CP for an auto advance of 6 inches means that on your first turn, especially if you go first, that piranha is moving 29 inches. That's most of the board. And it means that the piranha, without having to charge in, is still capable of being one of the only units in the game that can get capture enemy outpost turn 1, which is really, really, really powerful. And we start mixing this in with a lot of the infiltrate tools that we have, the things that allow us to deny a lot of the board from people early on in the game. And it means that we're hitting a point where we still have a lot of control over how the game plays out. We have a lot of powerful staging, positioning, and relevant damage when we need it down. I think that Town Montka is going to be very, very scary. And keep an eye out for our next video where I'm going to be rating all of our detachments and ranking them in terms of their competitive power. Thank you very much to all of my patrons who make all of my videos possible. If you enjoy content like this, make sure that you hit the button down below to like and subscribe and share to somebody who you think needs to see this information. Or don't. I'm not your dad. I'll see you in the next one.